When it comes to color in the garden, well, spring is like a no-brainer. But when it comes to summer, and I mean hot blazing summer, especially from January moving through to March, April, early May, what can I plant that's going to be foolproof to this hectic African summer sun? There are loads of different options that we can use. Some that are what we call perennials. Perennials means that it's going to go on for a number of years, and there are annuals, which means that it lasts annually, yes, for one season, 1 year. So let's get straight into that awesome color. When it comes to your annuals, so those are generally, and I'm going to use this word as a general, that you buy in the seedling section at your local builders. This is the stuff that gives you that like explosion of color that you can have right in the front of your garden. Now, of course, like any plant, there are some that enjoy sun and some that enjoy shade. So let's start off with the sun options. Take a look at this on a trellis. This would be for full sun. Here we go through them. Marigolds. In the marigolds, there's this beautiful strawberry. There's this lovely one, which we know as lemon drop. This is one of their new varieties as well. Look at that lovely color that's in it. And of course, they've got so advanced that you're getting the large pom-pom varieties. You're also getting a bright, extra large, big orange flower. They're known as Durango. But you know what? You don't need to worry about all the names. Just find what you want, fall in love with it, pick it, and plant it. Remember, with your marigolds, they need at least 5 hours sunlight a day. So it could be in a morning sun, or a spot that gets full afternoon sun, or a spot that gets all day sun. You can plant these from January right even until April. If you're in a frost-free zone, you can plant these right throughout the year. Another annual that is a firm favorite in our books are petunias. Now, there are two different types of petunias. You get some that are like these, big guys, okay, known as the Morns. Or you can get these little guys, teeny weeny little cousins I call them, called Calibrachoas. With these guys, one thing I do want to make very, very importantly clear is that with all petunias, it's important to water the soil and not the plant. When petunia flowers get wet, they tend to go really soggy and almost turn like into mush, kind of like a snotty mush almost. The other thing is what we call deadheading. Guys, if we have to have a look at this lovely little pot here, this guy is starting to go over. How do we know? Because his flowers, the ends are starting to bend backwards. All right? All we do is very simply follow the flower. There's its little sepals, its little skirt, okay? Those little guys. And we go down to where it joins and where there is a new leaf. Do you see the new leaf? So it's waiting. And all I do is thumb and forefinger, get it in there and just nip it off. That is what we call deadheading. If you can do this as often as you can, these guys are going to last for a long, long time. Another great summer bedding plant, and this has two sides to it. It's a big family of plants, but it's got annuals, perennials, and shrubs. I want to focus on perennials and annuals, and they are called salvias. They're tough, they're water-wise, they don't require all that much water. They can grow in full sun, or in the morning sun, or an afternoon sun. So we've got that half-day option as well. Either way, they work great as mid-planting for garden beds or even in a container, just like it is here. In terms of the annuals of the salvias that you get, here are some of the amazing colors. Now, these are the bedding, okay? The seedlings. So they are not going to get as tall as this guy. They are only going to get about 20-25 centimeters. These guys are amazing. Enjoy the sun, don't overwater, and they really need minimal care. Again, same principle, deadheading to keep encouraging it to flower. And the best part about salvias is that they can be planted midsummer, height of summer, which will give you color right the way through into autumn. Other options for summer color for the sun. always think about zinnias. Now, zinnias are about as tough as salvias, except for me, they've got a beautiful flower because it's rounded, it's quite flat. They come in this wonderful yellow, which is almost luminous. You get a bright pink that is so lipstick pink. You can also get them in mixes, as well as a beautiful, vibrant, burnt orange. Very tough. Don't overwater them. Plant them height of summer right through into the winter and early winter garden. Fakies, as we commonly know them, they are fantastic, low, tough little fatties with the most vibrant colors. You can either get them in pots as like instant little plants or in punnets, hot, sunny, no-nonsense plants. You might be saying, what about me? I've got a shaded garden. Well, folks, you're not left out. There are lots of options for you. Of course, the best and most well-loved is probably the impatiens, or as we know, the busy Lizzie. They have gone through many different changes in terms of breeding, so you can be rest assured that if you plant them, they are not going to die of mildew. Another great option for semi-shade, filtered light are Perennials. Short, compact, really little mounded plants, either in pinks, whites, and even a blue. Good guys. They have this thing called self-deadheading, where the flowers just fall off. But they really pack a punch, and for me, last incredibly well right into the autumn. Besides all the summer color that can be planted now in the form of annuals, there are a lot of other guys, which I mentioned earlier, called perennials. So these plants go on forever. They will last generally 3 to 4 years in your garden and then need replacing. Well, you say, well, why do they need replacing? They need replacing because they're giving you so much that wow, instant color in their shortened period of time. So starting off with some shaded options. This little guy, it's called Coreopsis. Now some of you might recognize this and say, oh, but I've bought one of these as an indoor plant. Well, yeah, because it can grow in semi-shade or in dappled shade means that it'll also do well indoors. So this is a Coreopsis that we've had in a pot. So under trees, maybe near the side of the house where it's quite shaded, this is a really good option, low and compact. But they do need pruning. So when they get a bit scraggly, they need a good haircut, much like us. And guys, here you can be ruthless, honestly. And what I'm going to show you and reveal to you will be quite interesting, because the plant itself is actually telling us that it needs a good haircut. Look at that. Down below here, look at all the new leaves trying to push through. And then we take an organic fertilizer and a little sprinkle, small handful, and Bob's your uncle. Nothing further to do, and away you go. Other options for semi-shade, Coleus, the most amazing plants, so underrated. The colors are superbly intense. Combined next to yellows, next to ground covers or grasses, they just pop. They do need a good pruning when they start getting a bit scraggly, much like the Coreopsis. Another great option for sun or shade are begonias. Now begonias can come in different options. So we've got the little punnets. The darker leafed ones generally tend to enjoy full sun. The green leafed options prefer a semi-shaded spot. Names like dragon wings or baby wings is what you need to look out for. And they grow much taller, great in the garden. The brown leaves, once again for full sun, the green leaves for a semi-shaded to early morning sun position. For sun, summer options, Coreopsis, carnations, both for full sun, great perennials. Don't overwater them, they really don't enjoy it. And the third one that goes along with these, of course, are geraniums. Geraniums, also known as pelargoniums, come in a variety of different forms. Some that are trailing, which are great in window boxes, and some that are more upright, which work best as border plantings because of their upright, compact habit. They're very forgiving, don't require much water, and of course, to encourage them to flower more, all you've got to do is snap off those dead old flowers. When it comes to general care of your bedding plants or even perennials, folks, there are various ways to do it. One, I've showed you to use the organic fertilized pellets, which you can simply place around your plants, whether in containers or in the garden. Others are liquid fertilizers, which can get used when giving them a really good soak. Of course, when it comes to the garden and you've got bigger areas to do, go with the organic pellets or simply decant your plant food into a watering can and then give them a good soak as if you were watering. So there are a whole lot of options for great color in the garden, whether it be in a little container, in a hanging basket, or in your garden beds. Color gives us joy and happiness and big smiles. And if you're wanting more of big smiles and inspiration, remember to check out the Builder's blog, because there are loads of other articles, great DIYs to get you into the gardening vibe. Get to Builders and get it done.